I accidentally got my mom's best friend pregnant. To be honest, it was not entirely my fault. 3 days ago, I had just broken up with my girlfriend and went to a bar to unwind. A drunk beauty came over and hit on me. We talked for a while. We hit it off, and in a daze, we got a room. The next day, I found that she had already left. I did not know anything about that woman. Sunlight spilled in through the sheer curtains of the floor-to-ceiling window. It was so bright that my eyes hurt. I sat up, holding my heavy hangover head. Only the faint wrinkles on the sheets proved that everything from last night was not just a drunken dream after I got dumped. My name is Lin Chen. I am 22 this year. I am a junior at Jiangqing University. And just 24 hours earlier, I was still the unlucky guy whose campus belle girlfriend dumped him in public. Su Qin. The girlfriend I had chased for a full 6 months. At the milk tea shop by the school gate. In front of a whole crowd. She threw the milk tea I bought her onto the ground. She said I was poor and shabby. She said I could not give her the life she wanted. She said Wang Hao, the rich kid from the finance department next door, could casually give her the newest iPhone, while I could not even afford one lipstick for her. At that moment, my hands shook with anger. In the 3 months I had been with her, I had lived frugally and spent all the money I earned from part-time jobs on her. In the end, all I got was being called poor. I only smiled. I said, "Good luck clinging to a rich man," then turned and left. That night, my dorm brothers saw that something was wrong with me. They dragged me to Rosemary Bar, the hottest bar in Jiangqing. They said they were going to heal my broken heart. I was not in the mood at first. But after a few glasses of whiskey, my mind started to float. My head was full of Su Qin and her words, "You are just a useless poor student." The more I thought about it, the more stifled I felt. So I carried my glass to the bar counter. And it was at that moment that she bumped into my arms. A pleasant gardenia fragrance instantly wrapped around me. When I lowered my head, I was facing a woman. She was wearing a black slip dress. Over it was a suit jacket of the same color. Her long hair fell loosely. A few loose strands stuck to her flushed cheeks. There was a slightly drunken smile on her lips. Her figure was truly amazing. Especially those legs wrapped in black stockings. They were long and straight. She crossed them so casually. It made my eyes go straight. "Sorry, little brother. I drank too much." Her voice was soft, with a little huskiness. It was completely different from Su Qin's delicate and affected tone. Hearing it made my whole body go numb. I quickly held her steady. The alcohol was getting to me too. My mouth moved faster than my brain. "No problem. If you cannot stand steady, lean on me, big sister. I am solid." She burst out laughing. She did not push me away either. Using my hand for support, she picked up my glass from the bar. She took a sip of my remaining whiskey. She raised an eyebrow at me. "Heartbroken? Drinking alone here?" At that moment, I stopped caring. Like dumping out trash. I told her everything about being dumped by Su Qin. She listened quietly. Occasionally, she added that the girl had no taste. She said a handsome little brother like me would have made her chase me if she were a few years younger. Those words made my heart bloom. My already wounded pride was coaxed back up by just a few lines from her. The more I looked at her, the more pleasing she became. Mature and beautiful. Gentle, and she understood men. So we drank cup after cup. We talked about everything under the sun. All I knew was that her name was Lily. The more we drank, the more it piled up. My head grew dizzier and dizzier. But my body grew hotter and hotter. She leaned against me, her breath spraying on my neck. It made my heart tremble from the itch. In a daze, I helped her out of the bar. She looked up at me and said, "Little brother. Do you dare come with me?" My brain went hot right then. Forget just going with her. I would have dared climb a mountain of knives or cross a sea of fire. I hailed a taxi. We went to the highest-end hotel nearby. She leaned in my arms quietly the whole way. Only her hand kept gripping my arm. Everything after that became fragments. I only remember the warm yellow light in the hotel room. I remember the pleasant gardenia scent on her body. I remember her smooth skin. I remember her leaning close to my ear. Again and again, she called me little brother. Her voice was so soft it could drip water. And those long legs faintly visible beneath the black stockings. I was almost driven crazy. Su Qin. Heartbreak. All of it was thrown beyond the clouds. All I knew was that in this moment, the woman in my arms was the best in the world. But when I woke up, she was gone. I searched the bed for ages. Aside from a bottle of unopened mineral water on the bedside table, and a thin black hair ribbon, she left nothing behind. It was as if the fiery woman from last night had only been a drunken hallucination. I held that hair ribbon to my nose and smelled it. It still carried a faint gardenia fragrance. I could not describe the feeling in my heart. I felt a little lost. I also felt inexplicably thrilled. And a little unwilling to let it end. After all, it had been a one-night romance. It felt like having a daydream. I showered at the hotel. I changed my clothes. I stuffed that hair ribbon into my pocket. Then I slowly walked out of the hotel. As soon as I reached the roadside, I received a call from the boss of our dorm. He shouted through the phone, "Chen, where did you go? We called you last night and you did not answer. Su Qin brought that rich kid to block you downstairs at the dorm. She said she wanted to embarrass you." I let out a cold laugh. My heart did not ripple at all. If it had been yesterday, I might have been angry. I might have felt humiliated, but after last night, when I looked at Su Qin now, I only felt bored. With her plain, bland look, compared to Sister Lily from last night, she was not even worthy of polishing her shoes. Let them block me, then. Was I supposed to be afraid of her? I got into a taxi and told the driver the address of my school, then replied lazily, "Perfect. I also have something to say to her." 20 minutes later, the taxi stopped downstairs at the dorm. From far away, I saw Su Qin holding Wang Hao's arm. They were standing by the flower bed below the dorm. A few students had gathered around to watch. They were pointing and whispering over there. As soon as Su Qin saw me, her spirits immediately rose. She let go of Wang Hao's arm. She stepped toward me in high heels. With a mocking smile, she said, "Lin Chen. So you still know how to come back. I thought after I dumped you, you had gone off somewhere to cry." Wang Hao also walked over. He reached out and wrapped an arm around Su Qin's waist. He looked down at me from above. His face was full of disdain. "Buddy, let me tell you. Qin being with me is her blessing. With your tiny monthly allowance, you cannot even afford one lipstick for her. Stop being a toad lusting after swan meat." The people around us burst into laughter. They pointed at me. If this had been before, I definitely would have argued with them until my face and neck turned red. But now, I only picked at my ear. I looked at Su Qin and smiled lazily. "Su Qin, do you think hooking a rich kid means you have become a phoenix?" Su Qin's face darkened at once. Lin Chen. What do you mean? Nothing. My eyes swept over the designer dress on her body that Wang Hao had obviously bought. My tone carried a little mockery. I just think, instead of being a proper person, you insist on being an accessory. That must be hard. Today he can buy you bags and clothes. Tomorrow he can dump you and get a new one. Do you really think he is sincere to you? Bullshit. Wang Hao got anxious at once. He stepped forward, clenching his fist as if he would rush at me. Kid, are you looking for a beating? I stood there without moving. I even leaned forward a little. I pointed at the surveillance camera above us. Then I smiled and said, come on, hit me here. The school's cameras will capture everything clearly. If you touch me once, I will immediately lie on the ground and not get up. If I do not make you pay 100,000, I will take your surname. Anyway, I have nothing to lose. Your family has money. Let's see whether the school protects you, the rich kid. Or me, an ordinary student. Wang Hao's fist froze in midair. His face turned bright red, unable to advance or retreat. It was awkward to death. The laughter around us instantly changed direction. Everyone started pointing at Wang Hao. When had he ever suffered this kind of humiliation? Through gritted teeth, he cursed, poor bastard. But he no longer dared to attack. I looked at Su Qin again. Her face shifted between red and white. She was trembling with anger. I smiled and added. Also, do not think I am that sad after being dumped by you. To tell you the truth, the big sister I met last night was 100 times prettier than you. 100 times gentler. And her figure left you 8 streets behind. Compared to her, you are just a little cabbage that has not grown up. I should even thank you for dumping me. Otherwise, I would never have met someone that good. As soon as I said this, Su Qin's face turned completely green. She screamed, Lin Chen. You are shameless. No matter how shameless I am better than someone who despises the poor and loves the rich. I waved my hand. I was too lazy to waste any more words on her. I turned and walked into the dorm building. Behind me, I left a crowd of onlookers. And Su Qin and Wang Hao, stomping in anger. After returning to the dorm, my 3 brothers instantly surrounded me. They praised me wildly. They said I was too handsome just now. They said I left that shameless couple speechless. The dorm boss patted my shoulder and said, not bad. Chen, 1 night away and you have awakened. Did you really meet a beautiful older sister? You are not bragging to us, are you? I smiled. I took the black hair ribbon from my pocket. I placed it on the table. I raised an eyebrow. Why would I lie to you? I never talk big. My 3 brothers instantly leaned in. They stared at that hair ribbon. Their eyes went straight. They all asked at once. What exactly happened, what that sister looked like. How old she was, and what she did. Their questions made my head hurt. I could only vaguely say that I met her at the bar. I did not say anything else. It was not that I did not want to say more. It was that I truly knew nothing. Over the next few days, I would keep touching the hair ribbon in my pocket. I would think of Sister Lily from that night. She was like a gust of wind blowing into my life. She stirred up my heart. Then vanished without a sound. Just as I was about to treat this as a romantic encounter. And bury it deep in my heart. My mom called me. My mom's name is Zhang Lan. She is a typical northeastern woman. Straightforward. Energetic. And she runs a small supermarket in Jiangcheng. Our life is not rich or luxurious. But I usually listen to her quite well. Aside from occasionally arguing back. As soon as the call connected, my mom's loud voice came through the receiver. Chen, are you coming home this weekend? Your Aunt Liman is back. Come home for dinner this weekend. I will cook your favorite braised pork. I froze for a moment. Aunt Liman. My mom has many close friends. Since childhood, I had met at least 80 or 100 aunties. I had some impression of this Aunt Liman. She seemed to be my mom's childhood friend. I heard she had gone south to do business many years ago. Later, she even went abroad. I had not seen her in more than 10 years. My impression of her had long blurred. Aunt Liman? Which Aunt Liman? I asked casually. Who else? Qiao Liman, my best friend. When you were little, she even held you. She even bought you milk powder. My mom said on the other end, annoyed. You brat, did a dog eat your memory? Hurry home this weekend. Your Aunt Liman also said. She wants to introduce you to someone. I heard you got dumped. Perfect, she can help you look around. The moment I heard she wanted to introduce someone, my head hurt. I quickly laughed it off. All right. Mom, I know. I will definitely come back this weekend. After hanging up, I did not think too much about it. Wasn't it just my mom's best friend coming back for a meal? As for introducing someone, I would just deal with it casually when the time came. Right now, my mind was full of Sister Lily from that night. How could I have the mood to look at other girls? The weekend arrived quickly. I slept until noon. I got up, cleaned myself up, and took a taxi home. My home is in an old neighborhood. It is not far from school. The taxi ride took only 20 minutes. As soon as I reached the door, I smelled the aroma of braised pork floating from inside. And also a familiar faint gardenia scent. My heart thumped. My footsteps stopped instantly. That scent was too familiar. It was exactly the same as the scent that had lingered at my nose in the hotel that night. At that moment, I comforted myself that I was overthinking. It was just gardenia perfume. Many women used it. How could there be such a coincidence? I shook my head. I took out my key and opened the door. Mom. I am back. I changed my shoes and called out. Then I looked up toward the living room. And with that single look, I was instantly petrified. On the sofa in the living room sat a woman. She wore a champagne-colored silk dress. She carried a natural charm. Sunlight spilled in through the living room window. It landed on her, covering her entire body in a soft halo. Mature and elegant. Alluring, with feminine charm from head to toe. And that face. I would recognize it even if it turned to ash. It was Sister Lily from that night at the bar. The woman I had spent a night with. The keys in my hand fell to the floor with a clang. The sound was piercing. My mind went completely blank. It was as if lightning had struck me. My head buzzed. Only one thought looped crazily in my mind. It's over. I slept with my mom's best friend. The woman my mom said had held me since I was little. Had bought me milk powder. And was someone I should call auntie. Was the woman who rolled into bed with me that night. When she heard the sound, she turned her head. Her gaze landed on me. The instant our eyes met, I clearly saw the glass in her hand jerk hard. The water inside almost spilled out. The smile she had been wearing instantly froze. A visibly panicked look flashed in her eyes. Even her pupils shrank a little. But it lasted only 1 second. She quickly hid her emotions. A proper smile returned to her face. Only that smile looked stiff no matter how you looked at it. Both of her ears quietly turned red. Chen is back. My mom poked her head out of the kitchen. She was still holding a spatula. Smiling, she scolded me, "Why are you standing at the door like an idiot? Come in and greet her. This is your Aunt Qiao Liman. I told you about her. Hurry and call her auntie." I stood where I was. My legs felt filled with lead. I could not move at all. My mouth opened for a long time. My tongue felt tied in knots. After holding it in for ages, I finally squeezed a few words from my throat. "Qiao, Qiao. Hello, auntie." I nearly crushed my teeth saying the word auntie. She had held me and bought me milk powder. More than just an auntie. A few nights ago, you were holding me and calling me little brother. Qiao Liman looked at me. The corner of her mouth twitched. She revealed a forced smile. Her voice was a little unnatural. Chen has grown so big. The last time I saw you, you were only this tall. You were still a little kid. In my heart, I complained crazily. "Auntie. I am much taller than you now." My mom came out of the kitchen. She wiped her hands and slapped me lightly. "Brat. Come sit down. Chat with your auntie. The food will be ready soon." I braced myself and walked to the sofa. I sat down. On the single sofa across from Qiao Liman. The whole time, I did not know where to put my eyes. But the corner of my vision was full of her. Her legs were crossed. The calves exposed below her dress were slim and fair. They felt exactly like what I had touched that night. Her fingers were slender and pretty. They held the glass. Her nails were neatly trimmed. They were painted a faint nude pink. These were the very hands that had slid across my back that night, leaving shallow scratch marks. The more I thought about it, the more restless I became. And the more I thought about it, the more afraid I became. A layer of cold sweat formed on my back. My mom was still chattering beside us. "Liman. You have no idea. This boy, some time ago, was dumped by his girlfriend at school. He has been listless every day. I have been worried to death. You know many people. Do you have any reliable young girls around you? Introduce one to our Chen." Qiao Liman took a sip of water from her glass. She raised her eyes and looked at me. There was a teasing look in her eyes that I could not describe. And also a little embarrassed anger. The corner of her mouth lifted. She said, "Sure. Chen, tell auntie what kind of girl you like. Auntie will keep an eye out for you." The water I had just drunk almost sprayed straight out. "Auntie, aren't you asking while knowing the answer? Don't you know what kind I like?" I cleared my throat. I suppressed the storm in my heart. My brain suddenly short-circuited. My mischievous nature came up again. I looked at her. Then I slowly said, "I do not have many requirements. I just like someone like you, Aunt Qiao. Mature and beautiful. Gentle and generous. And especially understanding." As soon as I said this, the air instantly went silent. Qiao Liman's face turned red all at once. The redness spread from her cheeks to the roots of her ears. The cup in her hand almost slipped. My mom froze for a moment. Then she laughed and slapped me. Annoyed, she said, "You brat. Why are you making jokes with your auntie like that? Is your auntie someone you can tease? Shut your mouth right now." I quickly laughed it off and said, "Mom. I am just joking. Aunt Qiao, do not take it to heart. I just think you are the most elegant woman I have ever seen." Qiao Liman took a deep breath. She finally managed to calm herself down. She glared at me. There was a warning in that look. There was also embarrassed anger. And there was something indescribable. With a faint smile, she put down the glass. She smiled at my mom and said, "It is fine. The child is joking. Chen really has a sweet mouth." I secretly laughed in my heart. Sweet mouth? Auntie, that was not what you said that night. When you said my mouth was sweet, you sounded much more sincere than now. Soon, my mom finished cooking. Braised pork, sweet and sour ribs, and steamed fish filled the entire table. My mom pulled Qiao Liman to the dining table. She kept putting food into her bowl. She kept chattering about things from over the years. Only then did I learn that Qiao Liman had not just returned from abroad. She had come back to Jiangqing half a year ago. She had opened a cultural media company. Business was thriving. Now she was a genuine female boss. Her net worth was considerable. It was just that she had been busy with the company for the past half year. She had not had time to meet my mom. I was even more shocked. So not only had I slept with my mom's best friend, I had also slept with a rich woman worth hundreds of millions. At the dinner table, my mom kept urging us to drink. She poured Qiao Liman a glass of red wine. She also poured one for me. Qiao Liman held the glass and took a sip. Her eyes drifted toward me from time to time. They carried complicated emotions. With my mom sitting beside us, I became bolder too. I began testing her indirectly. I raised my glass. I lifted it toward Qiao Liman. "Aunt Qiao, I toast you. Welcome back to Jiangqing." Qiao Liman clinked glasses with me. She took a small sip. Smiling, she said, "Thank you, Chen." I put down my glass. Pretending to ask casually, I said, "Aunt Qiao, since you are usually so busy with work, do you ever go to bars to relax? A few days ago, I went to Rosemary Bar with my classmates. I seemed to see someone who looked a lot like you. I thought I had seen wrong." As soon as I said that, the hand Qiao Liman held her chopsticks with trembled hard. The chopsticks almost fell from her hand. Her face instantly turned a few shades paler. She glared at me fiercely. Her eyes were full of warning. My mom did not notice anything wrong at all. As soon as she heard I went to a bar, she exploded. She put down her chopsticks and scolded me. "Lin Chen, you went to that kind of place again? How many times have I told you? Bars are full of all kinds of people. They are not places a student should go. Did you start going bad after getting dumped?" I quickly smiled apologetically. "Mom, I was wrong. I only went once with my classmates. I will never go again. Besides, I just saw wrong. That back looked a bit like Aunt Qiao, but it was not her." Only then did Qiao Liman breathe a sigh of relief. She picked up the topic and said to my mom, "Sister Lan, it is fine. The child is already grown. It is normal to relax with classmates. I rarely go to bars myself. At most, I occasionally socialize there with clients." Chen must have seen wrong. After saying that, she looked up and glared at me again. That look seemed like it wanted to swallow me alive. I secretly laughed in my heart. I lowered my head and ate my rice. The corners of my mouth could not help lifting. This meal made my heart race with fear. Yet it was incredibly thrilling too. The entire time, I was walking a dangerous line. Every now and then, I would say something ambiguous. Seeing Qiao Liman panic and feel wronged, yet not dare to explode, made me find it funny. As for Qiao Liman, she pretended to stay calm the whole time. While chatting with my mom, she warned me with her eyes. By the end of the meal, she had not eaten much. But she had drunk quite a lot of wine. Her cheeks stayed flushed. It made my heart itch. After we finally finished eating, my mom cleaned up the bowls and chopsticks. Qiao Liman stood up and said she had to leave. My mom quickly stopped her. She said, "You drank, so you cannot drive." "Perfect, Chen has his driver's license now. Let him drive you back. Chen, hurry and drive your auntie home. Come back only after she gets there safely." My heart instantly bloomed with joy. I quickly nodded. "Yes, ma'am. Mom, I guarantee the mission will be completed." Qiao Liman opened her mouth, wanting to refuse. But my mom gave her no chance at all. She pushed her toward the door and said, "It is settled. I do not feel safe letting you go back alone. Let Chen drive you. He can also learn from you. Learn a thing or two. Look at how she became a big boss at such a young age. You can broaden your horizons too." Qiao Liman had no choice. She could only agree. I took the car keys and followed behind Qiao Liman. We went downstairs toward the underground garage. Neither of us spoke along the way. The atmosphere was strangely quiet. Only our footsteps echoed through the empty garage. We walked up to a white Porsche Panamera. Qiao Liman immediately stopped. She pressed the car key. The car doors unlocked. She turned around and looked at me. The proper smile on her face vanished instantly. In its place was an expression both shy and angry. Her voice was pressed very low. With a hint of gritted teeth, she said, "Lin Chen. What did you mean at the dinner table just now?" I leaned against the car, looking at her puffed-up angry face. I found her unbearably cute. I smiled shamelessly. "Nothing, Aunt Qiao. I was just greeting you. Did you sleep well that night?" "Shut up." Qiao Liman instantly bristled. She reached out to cover my mouth. But I grabbed her wrist. Her hand was soft. It was smooth, exactly like the feeling from that night. I held her wrist. I could clearly feel her pulse beating. My heart stirred. I could not help stepping closer. I was almost pressed against her. The light in the underground garage was dim. Only the emergency lights gave off a faint glow. It fell on her face. Her eyelashes were very long. They trembled slightly. Her cheeks were flushed. Even her breathing became rapid. "Aunt Qiao, what are you hiding from?" I looked down at her. My voice lowered. With a hint of heat, I said, "You were not like this that night. You held me and kept calling me little brother. You were very affectionate. Why do you act like you have seen a ghost now?" Qiao Liman's face turned even redder. She tried hard to pull her hand back. But she could not pull it free no matter what. Even her eyes were turning red. Through gritted teeth, she said, "Lin Chen. Let go of me. Do not go too far. That night was just an accident. We had both drunk too much. Can we pretend nothing ever happened?" "No." I rejected her without even thinking. I looked into her eyes. Then I said seriously, "To me, it was not an accident. Qiao Liman, I do not care if you are my mom's best friend. Or someone I am supposed to call auntie. I will take responsibility for what happened that night." Qiao Liman froze. A flash of shock passed through her eyes as she looked at me. She seemed not to have expected me to say something like that. I let go of her wrist. I opened the driver's side door. I raised an eyebrow at her. "Get in." "Aunt Qiao, my mom told me to send you home safely. We cannot let her worry, can we? If there is anything to say, we can talk slowly on the road." Qiao Liman stood there and looked at me for a long time. In the end, she still bit her lip. She went around and sat in the passenger seat. I started the car. We drove out of the underground garage. I headed toward the riverside. I knew Jiangqing's top river view. Large apartments were all over there. A female boss of Qiao Liman's net worth. Would definitely live there. The atmosphere in the car was very quiet. Only the sound of the air conditioner could be heard. Qiao Liman leaned against the passenger seat and looked out the window. The lines of her side profile were very soft. But I could tell that her emotions were complicated. After driving for a while, she was the one who spoke first. Her voice was very light. Lin Chen, about that night. I hope you will never tell anyone. Especially do not tell your mother. She is my best friend. If she finds out, we will not even be able to remain friends. I know. I nodded. Looking at the road ahead, I said, I will not tell my mom. Unless you want her to know. Qiao Liman breathed a sigh of relief. Then she said, just treat this as an accident. What is past is past. From now on, we should interact as ordinary elder and junior. Can we? I turned my head and glanced at her. I smiled. Aunt Qiao, do you think that is possible? We have already been like that. How am I supposed to see you as an ordinary auntie? Whenever I see you, I think of that night. I think of the way you held me. I simply cannot do it, Lin Chen. Qiao Liman was so angry her face turned red. She reached out and slapped me lightly. You are driving. Stop talking nonsense. I smiled and dodged. I am not talking nonsense. I am telling the truth. Qiao Liman, let me ask you. That night at the bar. Why were you so drunk? And why did you come over alone to hit on me? With your status. You probably would not randomly hit on strange men, right? As soon as I said this, Qiao Liman's expression instantly dimmed. A trace of loneliness flashed through her eyes, along with a little anger. She turned her head and looked out the window. Her voice was muffled. It has nothing to do with you. How does it have nothing to do with me? I said, we have already had a relationship. Your business is my business. I cannot stay unclear. With a woman whose identity I do not even know. And who appeared in my bed. Qiao Liman was silent for a long time. In the end, she sighed and told me the truth. She had an ex-husband named Xiao Feng. The two had been married for 8 years. In the end, because their personalities did not match. And because they had never been able to have a child, they divorced. When they divorced, Qiao Liman gave him 10 million. That could be considered more than generous. But after Xiao Feng got the money, he did not live properly. He gambled every day. In less than 2 years, he lost all 10 million. He also owed the casino several million in gambling debts. This time, when Qiao Liman returned to Jiangqing, Xiao Feng found out and pestered her every day. He wanted to remarry her. To put it plainly, he wanted to get more money from her. A few nights ago, Xiao Feng asked her to meet at Rosemary Bar. He said he wanted to have a proper talk with her. But after she went there, Xiao Feng put something in her drink. After taking one sip, she felt dizzy. Her whole body grew hot. Her consciousness also began to blur. She knew something was wrong. So while Xiao Feng was not paying attention, she quickly ran away. But in that dazed state, she crashed straight into my arms. What happened after that naturally followed. After hearing all of this, I was so angry I nearly crushed the steering wheel. Through gritted teeth, I cursed. That bastard actually dared to drug you. Is he even a man? Qiao Liman looked at how angry I was. A trace of surprise flashed in her eyes. Then she gave a bitter smile. It is already over. Anyway, nothing really happened. How did nothing happen? I looked at her. I said seriously, if you had not crashed into me that night, and had been taken away by that bastard Xiao Feng, the consequences would have been unthinkable. Qiao Liman, this cannot just be let go. He dared to touch you. I will not spare him. Qiao Liman froze for a moment. She looked at me for a long time without speaking. The people around her who knew about this either advised her to keep the peace, or were after her money, wanting to use this matter to curry favor with her. No one had ever been like me. His first reaction was anger. He wanted to stand up for her. She looked at me, and her gaze softened. Her voice also softened. All right. You are still a student. Do not get involved in these things. Zhao Feng is a scoundrel. You cannot afford to provoke him. I cannot. I sneered. I have nothing to lose, so I am not afraid of someone who does. He is just a scoundrel buried in gambling debt. Why should I fear him? Aunt Qiao, do not worry. Leave this to me. I promise he will never dare harass you again. Qiao Liman looked at me. There were complicated emotions in her eyes. She seemed to want to say something, but in the end, she did not. She only nodded gently. The car soon arrived at the riverside. Riverview No. 1 community. It was Jiangqing's top luxury residential area. 1 square meter cost over 100,000. One apartment started at tens of millions. I parked the car in the underground garage. I turned off the engine, turned to Qiao Liman, and said, "We are here." Qiao Liman nodded. She unfastened her seatbelt and looked at me, hesitating for a long time. Then she said, "Lin Chen, thank you for driving me back today. And about that night." "Thank you." I froze for a moment. Then I smiled. "Thank me for what?" "For taking advantage of you." Qiao Liman's face turned red again. She reached out and slapped me lightly. Annoyed, she said, "Be serious." "I mean, thank you. That night, if not for you, I really do not know what would have happened." I looked at her reddened eyes. My heart softened. I reached out and gently touched her head. "No need to thank me. Protecting you is what I should do." Qiao Liman's body instantly stiffened. She lifted her eyes and looked at me. Her eyelashes trembled slightly. There was an emotion in her gaze that was hard to explain. We were very close. Our breaths intertwined. The atmosphere in the car instantly became ambiguous. I looked at her full lips. I could not help slowly leaning closer. Just as my lips were about to touch hers, she suddenly turned her head and pushed me away. Her voice carried a little panic. "No. Lin Chen, we cannot do this. I am your mother's best friend. You should call me Auntie." I looked at her panicked appearance. I did not force her anymore. I only smiled and said, "Fine. I will not force you. But Qiao Liman, I like you. That will not change." Qiao Liman looked at me for a long time without speaking. In the end, she opened the car door. She hurriedly got out of the car. She ran into the elevator. She did not even look back. I sat in the car. I watched the elevator numbers rise floor by floor. I could not help laughing. Interesting. Too interesting. From that day on, my life completely changed. I was no longer like before, muddling through classes every day. Instead, I had a goal. I began running to Qiao Liman's company frequently. In name, I was checking on her for my mom. I was afraid Zhao Feng would harass her. Qiao Liman's company was in Jiangqing's busiest CBD. The entire floor belonged to her. The decor was high-end and grand. The first time I went there, the receptionist stopped me. She asked who I was looking for. I said I was looking for Qiao Liman. I was her younger brother. The receptionist looked puzzled. She called Qiao Liman's secretary. In less than 2 minutes, The secretary hurried downstairs. She brought me up. The whole way, she looked at me with searching eyes. When I entered Qiao Liman's office, she was in a video meeting. The moment she saw me come in, she froze. She almost threw away the pen in her hand. She said to the computer, "Pause for a moment." Then she turned off the microphone. She looked at me through gritted teeth and said, "Lin Chen. Why did you come here?" I smiled and walked to her desk. I placed the thermos bucket in my hand on the desk. I said, "My mom asked me to bring you some soup she stewed. She said you have been busy with work lately and should nourish your body. While I am here, I also came to see whether Zhao Feng has come to harass you again." Qiao Liman looked at me. Angry and helpless, she said, "I am in a meeting. Go wait outside first." I nodded and did not make trouble. I sat down on the sofa in the office. I quietly waited for her to finish the meeting. Her meeting lasted more than half an hour. After it ended, her employees came in to deliver documents. When they saw me sitting on the sofa, they all secretly looked me over with curiosity. When they left, they even whispered at the door. I did not need to think to know that they must have been discussing me. Who was this young man? And what was his relationship with their beautiful boss? After everyone left, Qiao Liman finally walked over to me. She put her hands on her waist and looked at me. Annoyed, she said, "Lin Chen, what exactly are you trying to do? You come to my company every day. People in the company are starting to talk." I opened the thermos bucket. I poured out the soup and handed it to her. Smiling, I said, "Let them say whatever they want. Anyway, I am here to bring you soup. It is not like I am doing anything bad. Hurry and drink it. My mom stewed it herself. It will not taste good once it gets cold." Qiao Liman looked at the soup I handed over. She hesitated for a long time. In the end, she still took it. She drank it in small sips. The way she drank soup was very gentle. Her long eyelashes lowered. They hid the emotions in her eyes. I sat opposite her and watched her like that. The more I watched, the more I felt this woman was truly charming. From that day on, I went to her company every day. Today, I brought food my mom made. Tomorrow, I brought her some fruit. The day after tomorrow, I brought flowers. In name, I was caring for her on my mom's behalf. But in reality, I just wanted to see her every day. The people in Qiao Liman's company all tacitly accepted that I was her little boyfriend. The way they looked at me carried a little respect. Even the receptionist smiled and greeted me as Mr. Lin every time she saw me. At first, Qiao Liman still drove me away. Later, when she could not drive me away, she just let me be. Only every time I joked with her in front of her employees, she would glare at me with a red face. But she never truly got angry. I thought the days would continue in this lukewarm way. I would slowly pursue her. One day, she would accept me. But half a month later, something happened. That day, I was in class. Suddenly, I received a call from Qiao Liman. Her voice on the phone carried a little panic. And even a hint of crying. She said, "Lin Chen, can you come over?" As soon as I heard that her voice was wrong, I became anxious instantly. I could no longer care about class. I told the teacher my stomach hurt and rushed out of the classroom. While running, I asked, "What happened? Was it that bastard Zhao Feng? Did he go trouble you again? Where are you?" "I am coming now. I am at the hospital." Qiao Liman's voice was very light. With a slight tremble, she said, "Central Hospital. Come over. I have something to tell you." My heart thudded. I instantly panicked. I thought something had happened to her. I stopped a taxi and rushed to Central Hospital. Along the way, my heart was in my throat. My mind was full of bad thoughts. 20 minutes later, I rushed into the gynecology clinic of Central Hospital. In the corridor, I saw Qiao Liman. She was sitting on a long bench. She wore a white suit. Her hair was a little messy. She was holding a piece of paper. Her head was lowered, and her shoulders trembled slightly. She looked especially helpless. I quickly ran over and crouched in front of her. I looked at her anxiously and asked, "What happened?" "Liman, where do you feel unwell? Did Xiao Feng hurt you? Tell me, and I will kill him." Qiao Liman raised her head and looked at me. Her eyes were red and full of tears. She looked at me for a long time without speaking. Then she handed the paper in her hand to me. I took it in confusion. When I looked down, it was a pregnancy report. On it, the words were written clearly. Early intrauterine pregnancy, about 5 weeks. My brain buzzed. It instantly went blank. The pregnancy report in my hand almost fell to the ground. My whole body froze. I crouched on the ground for ages, unable to react. Pregnant. Qiao Liman was pregnant. The child was mine. Only those few sentences looped crazily in my mind. It was like being struck by lightning. I even forgot to breathe. I slept with my mom's best friend. Now she was carrying my child. I finally understood why my mom always said, "If you walk by the river often, how can your shoes not get wet?" This was not just getting my shoes wet. I had fallen straight into the river. Qiao Liman looked at me standing there like a wooden chicken. The tears in her eyes finally fell. Her voice choked as she said, "Lin Chen. I am pregnant. The child is yours." I finally came back to my senses. I looked at her red, tearful eyes. My heart felt as if something had tugged at it. It was sour and soft. I reached out and gently wiped away the tears on her face. Then my brain short-circuited. My shameless nature came back up again. I blurted out, "Really? I am that amazing?" One time and it hit. Qiao Liman had been crying sadly. When she heard this, she instantly froze. She looked at me, tears still hanging on her face. Her expression was both angry and amused. She reached out and hit me. With a crying voice, she scolded, "Lin Chen. Can you be serious? I am already scared to death. And you still say something like that?" I quickly grabbed her hand and helped her up. I sat beside her, looking at the pregnancy report in her hand. I could not describe what I felt. There was shock and panic. But more than that, there was a strange joy. And a sense of responsibility I had never felt before. I was 22, still a university student who had not graduated. And I was about to become a father. The child's mother was my mom's best friend. She was 16 years older than me. If this got out, it would probably shock everyone speechless. But I was not afraid at all. I even felt a little thrilled. I looked at Qiao Liman and asked seriously, "What do you want to do?" Qiao Liman sniffed. She wiped the tears from her face. She took a deep breath. Then she looked at me, and her gaze became firm. "I want to keep this child." I froze for a moment. Then I immediately smiled and nodded. "Okay. If you want to keep it, keep it. I have no objection." This time, it was Qiao Liman's turn to freeze. She looked at me. Her eyes were full of shock. She seemed not to have expected me to agree so easily. She had already prepared for me to tell her to abort the child. She had prepared for me to cut ties with her. She had even prepared for me to avoid her. She looked at me for a long time. Then she took a bank card from her bag. She placed it in my hand and said, "Lin Chen. I can raise this child myself. You do not need to take responsibility. There are 5 million in this card. It is enough for you to buy a house, a car, get married, and have children after graduation. I only have one request. Never tell anyone about this. Especially not your mother. Never mention it. Can you just pretend this child has nothing to do with you?" I looked at the bank card in my left hand. Then I looked at Qiao Liman and suddenly laughed. I put the bank card back into her hand. I looked into her eyes and said word by word, "Qiao Liman. What kind of person do you take me, Lin Chen, for? Am I the kind of coward who pulls up his pants and refuses responsibility? Sleeps with a woman. Lets her have the child alone. And even takes her money?" Qiao Liman looked at me. Her eyes were full of confusion. "Then what do you want?" "Very simple." I reached out and gently held her hand. Looking into her eyes, I said seriously, "I do not want the money. The child is mine. I must take responsibility. You are mine too. I want you too. Qiao Liman, I want to marry you." "What nonsense are you saying?" Qiao Liman instantly exploded. She suddenly pulled her hand back. She looked at me in disbelief. "Lin Chen. Are you crazy? I am 16 years older than you. I am your mother's best friend. You are supposed to call me auntie. How could we possibly get married? If your mother finds out, she will be furious." "I am not crazy." I looked at her. My tone was extremely serious. "What does age matter? So what if it is 16 years? Yang Zhening and Wang Fan are 54 years apart. Aren't they living well anyway? Besides, you are my mom's best friend. You are not my real aunt. We are not related by blood. Even the law cannot stop us from getting married. Then what about your mother?" Qiao Liman looked at me. Her voice was trembling. "Sister Lan is my best friend. I am together with her son. And I am pregnant with your child. How do you expect her to accept that? She will cut ties with me. I will talk to my mom." I said, "Although my mom has a fierce temper. She loves me the most, and she also loves you. As long as we are sincere, she will accept it eventually. Even taking 10,000 steps back. Even if she does not accept it, I still will not let go of your hand. And I definitely will not abandon this child." Qiao Liman looked at me. The tears in her eyes fell again. She was 38 this year. She had been married to her ex-husband for 8 years. The child she had dreamed of having had never come. No matter what method they tried, she could not get pregnant. She thought that in this life, she would never have a child of her own. But she never expected that after just one accident, she would actually become pregnant. She wanted to keep this child. But she had also prepared to raise the child alone. She had even planned to give Lin Chen a sum of money. So he would keep silent forever. So he would never appear in her and the child's life. She had never imagined Lin Chen would say such words. This boy, 16 years younger than her. This son of her best friend, at the moment when she was most panicked and most helpless, told her he wanted to marry her. He wanted to take responsibility for her and the child. She looked at me for a long time without speaking. In the end, she covered her face and began to cry. I reached out and pulled her into my arms, gently patting her back. I said softly, "Do not cry. I am here. If the sky falls, I will hold it up. I will protect both you and the child." Qiao Liman leaned in my arms, crying until her whole body trembled. All the grievances and helplessness of so many years burst out in this moment. After coming out of the hospital, I officially began my career as a father-to-be. I moved directly into Qiao Liman's large Riverview apartment. In name, I was taking care of a pregnant woman. At first, Qiao Liman refused. But she could not withstand my pestering. Besides, after she became pregnant, her morning sickness was especially severe. She really needed someone by her side to take care of her. In the end, she still agreed. I began learning how to cook pregnancy meals. Every day, I held my phone and searched tutorials. What pregnant women could eat. And what pregnant women could not eat. I remembered it more clearly than the knowledge points in my textbooks. At first, the dishes I made either had too much salt or too much sugar. They tasted awful. Qiao Liman would take one bite and vomit badly. Seeing how miserable she looked while vomiting, I felt especially guilty. I secretly ran to the kitchen and dumped all the food I made. I almost cried from anxiety. Qiao Liman saw it, walked over, and hugged me from behind. She said gently, "It is okay. Take it slowly. You are already doing very well." After that, I learned to cook from the auntie at home every day. After practicing for half a month, I finally made a few decent pregnancy meals. Qiao Liman ate the food I made. Her eyes were full of smiles. She said the food I made tasted even better than the auntie's. Aside from taking care of her diet, I also accompanied her on walks every day. I told her jokes. I made her happy. When her morning sickness made her uncomfortable, I rubbed her belly. I poured water for her. I stayed with her all night after night. I did not feel tired at all. Qiao Liman watched me busily taking care of everything. Her gaze became gentler and gentler. Her attitude toward me also became more and more different. She was no longer as cold to me as before. Instead, she would take the initiative to act spoiled with me. She would tell me about troubles at work. She would lean in my arms and imagine with me what the child would be like after birth. Our relationship developed by leaps and bounds like this. Other than not breaking through that final window paper, we were no different from a real married couple. Of course, my mom knew nothing about all of this. I told my mom that I had rented a place outside school with classmates to make studying more convenient. My mom did not think too much and believed it. Only every time she called me, she told me to visit Qiao Liman more often. She said Qiao Liman had it hard living alone. She told me to take better care of her. Every time, I agreed with a smile. In my heart, I secretly laughed. "Mom, do not worry. I will definitely take care of your best friend perfectly. I have even arranged a child for you." Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, Qiao Liman was almost 3 months pregnant. Her belly had also slightly rounded. Her morning sickness slowly eased. Her complexion became better and better. Her whole body carried a gentle maternal glow. The more I looked, the more I liked her. Just when I thought our days would continue happily like this, trouble came to the door. That day, I accompanied Qiao Liman to the mall to buy maternity clothes. As soon as we reached the mother and baby section, we ran into 2 people. Su Qin and Wang Hao. As soon as Su Qin saw me, her eyes went straight. Then her gaze fell on Qiao Liman beside me. Qiao Liman wore a loose maternity dress today. Her long hair was down, and she held my arm. Her whole person looked gentle and elegant. Although she was pregnant, her aura was still outstanding. She was far better than Su Qin in every way. Su Qin's face instantly darkened. She looked Qiao Liman up and down. Then she looked at me again. The corner of her mouth carried a mocking smile. In a sarcastic tone, she said, "Lin Chen, I was wondering why after I dumped you, you were not sad at all." So you found a rich woman to support you. I really did not expect you to be the kind of man who lives off a woman. Wang Hao also walked over. He wrapped an arm around Su Qin's waist. Looking at me with disdain, he said, "Kid. Does soft rice taste good? Do you want brother Hao to introduce you to a few more? I guarantee they are richer than this old woman." As soon as those words came out, Qiao Liman's face instantly turned cold. I had originally still wanted to exchange a few words with them. But when I heard them insult Qiao Liman and call her an old woman, I instantly became furious. My fists clenched until they cracked. I was about to rush up and beat them. But Qiao Liman stopped me first. She stepped forward. She protected me behind her. A powerful female boss aura instantly radiated from her. I spend money on my boyfriend. What does that have to do with you? Qiao Liman's voice was very cold. It carried an imposing air that needed no anger to command respect. And you are the ex-girlfriend who dumped him? Su Qin was frightened by her aura and took a step back. But she still forced herself to stay calm. She stiffened her neck and said, "So what? He is just a poor loser. Other than eating soft rice, he knows nothing." A poor loser? Qiao Liman sneered. She looked Su Qin up and down. Her eyes carried a trace of disdain. My Chen is young and handsome. His character is upright. He has a sense of responsibility. He is 100 times better than the oily-faced, useless rich boy beside you who only relies on his family. You dislike him for being poor. As Qiao Liman spoke, she raised her hand and pointed at the entire mall. She said lightly, "This mall is a key project my company cooperates on. The entire mother and baby area on the 3rd floor was invested in by me. The company in my hands is valued at 1 billion. As for the man beside you, all of his family's companies combined are not even my spare change. What right do you have to call my boyfriend poor?" As soon as she said this, Su Qin and Wang Hao's faces instantly turned pale. Wang Hao's family only did some small business. They had assets of only a few tens of millions. In front of someone like Qiao Liman, a big shot worth 1 billion. He was not even worth mentioning. He instantly became cowardly. All his arrogant flame from earlier vanished at once. Qiao Liman looked at them. Then she said coldly, "And you? You called me an old woman just now. I am 38 this year. I built this huge business from nothing with my own hands. I have cars, houses, and a company. People who want to be with me could line up from here to the other side of the river. And you? You are only in your early 20s. You do not think about working hard yourself. You only think about clinging to a rich man and being a vase. What right do you have to mock me?" Su Qin's face turned red and white. She stood there trembling all over. She could not say a single word. People shopping around us gathered over. They pointed at them. They whispered among themselves. They laughed so hard they could not stop. Qiao Liman was too lazy to waste more words on them. She took out her phone and called the mall manager. She said calmly, "Manager Zhang. There are 2 people in the mall harassing customers. They are disturbing the mall's order. Have security escort them out. From now on, never allow them to enter this mall again." Less than 2 minutes after she hung up, the mall security guards hurried over. Without another word, they dragged Su Qin and Wang Hao outside. Su Qin screamed and struggled. But it was completely useless. She could only, amid the crowd's laughter, be dragged out by the security guards. They were chased away in disgrace. Looking at their miserable backs, I felt unbelievably satisfied. I hugged Qiao Liman at once. I kissed her on the cheek. Smiling, I said, "Big sister, you were too cool. I love you to death. Qiao Liman's face instantly turned red. She hit me lightly. Annoyed, she said, there are people here. Stop messing around. She said that with her mouth. But the corners of her mouth could not help lifting. Her eyes were full of smiles. After this incident, Qiao Liman could be considered to have completely accepted our relationship. When we went home that night, she leaned in my arms. She told me that before, she always felt our age gap was too big. And with our relationship being like this, it was impossible to be together. But now, she no longer cared. As long as she could be with me. She did not care what anyone else said. I held her. My heart softened into a mess. I lowered my head and kissed her. This time, she did not push me away. Instead, she reached out and wrapped her arms around my neck. She responded to my kiss. Just when our relationship was getting better and better. And our days were becoming happier and happier. That lingering ghost Zhao Feng came to the door again. That day, I went to school for an exam. I had the auntie stay at home with Qiao Liman. But right after the exam, I received a call from the auntie. The auntie was extremely anxious on the phone. She said Zhao Feng had come to the house. He was shouting at the door. He said he wanted to see Qiao Liman and even wanted to smash the door. The moment I heard this, I exploded with anger. I hung up and stopped a car, then rushed home. Along the way, I cursed Zhao Feng's ancestors 18 generations over. When I arrived home, Zhao Feng was still shouting at the door. Two gangster-looking men were with him. At a glance, they were clearly not good people. The neighbors had all opened their doors and poked their heads out to watch. They pointed at them and whispered. The door to Qiao Liman's home was tightly closed. The auntie inside was terrified. She kept calling me. I rushed over and grabbed Zhao Feng by the collar. I yanked him so hard he stumbled. Through gritted teeth, I cursed, Zhao Feng. Are you looking to die? You dare come here and cause trouble? Zhao Feng froze when I grabbed him. Then he recognized me. A mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He pushed my hand away. He looked me up and down. Who are you, kid? You are not even fully grown, and you dare meddle in my business. I am here for my ex-wife. What does that have to do with you? Ex-wife? I sneered. Why don't you piss and look at your own reflection? Do you even deserve to call her your ex-wife? You have been divorced for 8 years. You pester her every day for money and things. Now you dare come to her door and make trouble. Do you have any shame? The matter between me and my ex-wife is not something an outsider like you can interrupt. Zhao Feng glared at me. Arrogantly, he said, let me tell you. Liman is pregnant with my child. I am here to take her home. You brat, get lost right now. Otherwise, I will not be polite to you. As soon as he said this, I laughed from anger. I had seen shameless people before. But never someone this shameless. I looked at him. Then I said slowly, your child, Zhao Feng. You have been divorced from her for 8 years. You were together 8 years and never had a child. Is your sperm Neza? Did it stay in her stomach for 8 years before coming out? The neighbors watching instantly burst into laughter. They all pointed at Zhao Feng. They said he had no shame. They said he had gone crazy from wanting money. Zhao Feng's face instantly flushed red. Humiliated into anger. He clenched his fist and punched toward my face. You are looking to die. I had already been guarding against him. I turned sideways and dodged. Then I kicked him in the stomach. Zhao Feng was kicked to the ground by me. He grimaced in pain. He could not get up for a long time. The two gangster-looking men beside him saw that their boss had been beaten. They immediately rushed forward. They wanted to attack me. I did not panic at all. I took out my phone and waved it at them. Coldly, I said, "I have already called the police. The police will arrive soon. Also, I have already recorded your entire process of threatening and harassing someone at their door. Zhao Feng. Don't you owe the casino several million? If you get locked up, do you think the casino people will let you off?" As soon as I said this, the two men instantly stopped. Their faces turned pale. They were all relying on Zhao Feng to make a living. What they feared most were the police and the casino people. Zhao Feng also panicked. He climbed up from the ground and looked at me. There was fear in his eyes. But he still spoke stubbornly. "Kid. Just you wait. This is not over." After saying that, he ran away in disgrace with those two men. Watching their backs as they fled, I breathed a sigh of relief. I turned around and knocked on the door. I called out, "Liman. It is me. It is fine now." The door quickly opened. Qiao Liman threw herself into my arms. Her whole body was trembling. Her tears instantly fell. I held her. I gently patted her back. I comforted her softly. "It is okay. Do not be afraid. I am here. He will not dare come again." After this incident, I knew that if Zhao Feng, this scoundrel, was not completely dealt with, he would always be a hidden danger. Right now, he was like a mad dog. He owed a huge pile of gambling debt. He could do anything. If he got desperate and hurt Qiao Liman and the child, I would regret it too late. I began setting up a plan against Zhao Feng. First, I asked someone to find the casino Zhao Feng owed money to. I sent Zhao Feng's current address and whereabouts anonymously to the casino people. The casino people were searching everywhere for Zhao Feng to collect money. After receiving the information, they immediately sent people to look for Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng was cornered by the casino people several times. His legs were nearly broken. He hid here and there every day. He was in a miserable state. He no longer had the energy to harass Qiao Liman. Then, I collected evidence that Zhao Feng had extorted Qiao Liman, as well as evidence of him harassing her at her door. I handed all of it to the police station. Zhao Feng was now like a rat crossing the street. Everyone wanted to beat him. On one side, he had to hide. And on the other, he had to hide from the police. He could not even stay in Jiangqing anymore. He could only secretly run out of Jiangqing. He never dared come back again. After solving the huge trouble of Zhao Feng, Qiao Liman and I finally returned to a peaceful life. Qiao Liman saw everything I had done for her. She completely fell for me. That night, she leaned in my arms and told me she was willing to marry me. After the child was born, we would get our marriage certificate. I held her, so excited I almost cried. I lowered my head and kissed her, saying again and again that I loved her. The two of us lived happily like this. Qiao Liman's belly grew bigger and bigger. She was already over 4 months pregnant. It was obviously starting to show. We had even begun choosing a name for the child, decorating the nursery, and imagining our future life. We all thought that as long as we kept it from my mom, once the child was born and everything was settled, even if my mom was angry, she would slowly accept it. But none of us expected that paper could never wrap fire forever. That day was a weekend. My mom called me. She said she had stewed chicken soup. She wanted to bring it to Qiao Liman to nourish her body. At that moment, I was at the supermarket buying fruit for Qiao Liman. When I heard this, I instantly panicked. I said I would go pick it up and bring it to Qiao Liman. But my mom said there was no need. She was almost downstairs at Qiao Liman's place. She would drop by to see her. I hung up the phone. I rushed home like a madman. There was only one thought in my mind. It is over. We are exposed. I hurried as fast as I could. But I was still one step late. When I ran to Qiao Liman's door. The door was open. My mom was standing in the living room. The thermos bucket in her hand had fallen to the floor. Chicken soup was spilled all over the ground. She looked at me, who was wearing pajamas. Then she looked at Qiao Liman, who was also wearing pajamas. With her belly already obviously rounded. Her whole body was trembling. Her face was deathly pale. Her eyes were full of disbelief and suffocation. The air instantly froze. It was so quiet that even a needle falling to the floor could be heard. I stood at the door. My mind was completely blank. The blood in my body seemed to have frozen. I could not say a single word. My mom looked at me. Her lips trembled for a long time. Finally, she squeezed out one sentence. Her voice was trembling. Lin Chen. Why are you here? I opened my mouth. For a long time, no words came out. Qiao Liman also panicked. She quickly walked over to support her. My mom, her voice carrying a sob, Sister Lan. Listen to my explanation. My mom suddenly took a step back. She avoided her hand. Her gaze fell on Qiao Liman's rounded belly. Then she looked at me. Her eyes instantly turned red. She finally realized it. Her best friend was pregnant. No one knew who the child's father was. Her son had supposedly rented a place outside with classmates. All of it was fake. Her best friend was pregnant with her son's child. Her son had gotten together with the sister she had grown up with. My mom's vision went black. She almost fainted. I quickly rushed over and held her. Anxiously, I shouted, "Mom, do not get worked up. Listen to my explanation." My mom recovered. She shoved me away and raised her hand, slapping me with a crisp, loud smack. My face burned with pain from the hit. She pointed at me, trembling with anger. Tears instantly fell. Through gritted teeth, she cursed, "Lin Chen, you little bastard. Do you know who she is? She is my best friend. She is someone you should call auntie. How could you do something so beastly? How did I give birth to a thing like you? Sister Lan, do not hit him." Qiao Liman quickly rushed over and shielded me. Crying to my mom, she said, "Sister Lan. This is not Qinchen's fault. It is all my fault. I was the one who took the initiative. If you want to hit someone, hit me. Your fault." My mom looked at Qiao Liman. Her eyes were full of disappointment and pain. "Liman. The two of us grew up together. I treated you like my own younger sister. Is this how you repay me? You got together with my son. And you are pregnant with his child. How am I supposed to face this in the future? How am I supposed to face relatives and friends?" Qiao Liman looked at my mom, crying and trembling all over. She could not say a single word. She could only keep saying sorry. The more my mom spoke, the angrier she became. She turned and ran to the balcony. She grabbed the feather duster used for drying clothes. Then she came over to beat me. I held my head and ran around the living room. My mouth kept shouting, "Mom. Listen to my explanation. I truly like Liman. The two of us truly love each other. We already have a child. We are going to get married." "Married? I will beat you to death, you little bastard." My mom was so angry she jumped. She chased me with the feather duster. "She is your auntie. She is 16 years older than you. You want to marry her? Are you crazy? I am telling you, I absolutely disagree with this. Unless I die. Qiao Liman stood in the middle with her pregnant belly. She was so anxious that tears kept falling. She was afraid my mom would hit me. She was also afraid my mom would hurt herself from anger. The entire living room was thrown into chaos. Just as my mom held the feather duster and was happily chasing me around, Qiao Liman suddenly cried out. She covered her belly and bent over. Her face instantly turned deathly pale. My mom and I instantly stopped. We looked at her and both panicked. I quickly rushed over and supported her. Anxiously, I asked, Liman, what is wrong? Does your stomach hurt? Qiao Liman gritted her teeth. Her forehead was covered in cold sweat. She grabbed my hand, her voice trembling as she said, my stomach hurts. My mom also panicked. The feather duster fell to the floor. She quickly ran over and looked at Qiao Liman. Anxiously, she said, Liman, what happened? Did the baby get disturbed? Hurry, take her to the hospital. Without another word, I bent down and picked Qiao Liman up. I ran out the door like a madman. My mom followed behind me. She was so anxious that tears fell. Along the way, she kept muttering, nothing must happen. Nothing must happen. We sent Qiao Liman to the hospital. After the doctor examined her, he said the baby was only slightly disturbed. It was nothing serious. But the pregnant woman could not be stimulated again. She had to keep her emotions stable. She had to rest well. Only then did my mom and I breathe a sigh of relief. Qiao Liman lay on the hospital bed and fell asleep. Her face was still a little pale. I sat by the bed and held her hand. I looked at her rounded belly. My heart was full of guilt and pain. My mom stood at the door of the ward. She looked at the two of us for a long time without speaking. Her eyes were full of complicated emotions. After a long while, she gently walked in. She patted my shoulder. Her voice was very soft. With a trace of exhaustion, she said, Chen. Come outside with me. I nodded. I gently put down Qiao Liman's hand. Then I followed my mom out of the ward. We walked into the hospital corridor. Mom leaned against the wall and looked out the window. She did not speak for a long time. In the end, she sighed and looked at me. Chen. Tell Mom the truth. Do you truly like Liman, or is it a moment of impulse? I looked into my mom's eyes. Then I said with absolute seriousness, Mom. I truly like her. It is not a moment of impulse. I want to marry her. I want to spend my whole life with her. I want to take responsibility for her and the child. My mom looked at me. A trace of helplessness flashed in her eyes. She sighed again. She is 16 years older than you and my best friend. You have called her auntie for more than 20 years. Have you thought about it? If the two of you are together, what will others say? What will relatives and friends think of our family? I do not care. I said, Mom, life is something we live ourselves. Let others say whatever they want. I only know that Liman loves me. And I love her. We also have a child. We want to live properly together. My mom looked at me for a long time without speaking. Tears in her eyes could not help falling. You child. Why are you so stubborn? I raised you since you were little. I only hoped you could live safely. Find a suitable girl. Get married and have children. And live a peaceful life. How did you create such a huge situation for me? I reached out and gently wiped the tears from my mom's face. My heart was especially guilty. Mom, I am sorry for making you sad. But I truly love Liman. I cannot live without her. And I cannot live without this child. My mom looked at me. Then she looked at Qiao Liman sleeping in the ward. In the end, she let out a long sigh. She waved her hand and said, "Fine, I understand. I will not interfere anymore. But Lin Chen, let me tell you. This road is the one you chose yourself. No matter what happens in the future, you cannot regret it. You cannot wrong Liman. And you cannot wrong the child. Otherwise, I will be the first to spare neither of you." I instantly froze. I looked at my mom. My eyes were full of disbelief. "Mom, you agree? What else can I do if I do not agree?" My mom glared at me in annoyance. "The child already exists. Can I force Liman to abort the child? Can I force the two of you to separate? Liman is my best friend. You are my son. If the two of you truly want to be together, can I really cut ties with you both?" I was so excited I almost jumped. I hugged my mom at once and said, "Mom. Thank you, thank you. All right, all right. Do not give me that act." My mom patted my back. She sighed. "It is just that from now on, I really do not know how to define this relationship. She is my best friend. Now she has become my daughter-in-law too. What kind of situation is this?" I could not help laughing and said, "This is becoming closer than close." My mom rolled her eyes at me. She did not scold me again. She only said, "Enough. Go in and see Liman. She is pregnant and has suffered such a huge grievance. Take good care of her. I will go buy her something to eat. I will stew some soup and bring it over." After saying that, my mom turned and left. Her back looked a little helpless. But she also seemed relieved. I watched my mom's back. My heart felt incredibly warm. Then I turned and walked into the ward. Qiao Liman had already woken up. She was leaning against the hospital bed and looking at me. Her eyes were full of tears. But the corner of her mouth carried a smile. Just now, she had heard the entire conversation between my mom and me. I walked over and sat beside the bed. I held her hand and smiled. "You heard it?" My mom agreed. Qiao Liman nodded. Tears fell. She reached out and hugged me. Choking up, she said, "Lin Chen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank me for what?" I smiled and hugged her. I lowered my head and kissed her forehead. "I should be the one thanking you. Thank you for being willing to marry me. Thank you for being willing to give birth to our baby." Qiao Liman leaned in my arms and cried messily. But her heart was full of happiness. I thought that by this point, all our troubles had been solved. We could finally live peacefully and steadily. We could wait for the child to be born. But I never expected an even bigger trouble was still behind us. On the day Qiao Liman was discharged from the hospital, we had just walked out of the hospital, when a group of reporters surrounded us. Countless microphones and cameras were aimed at us. Camera flashes kept going off. The reporters asked questions all at once. "President Qiao, may I ask if the young man beside you is the father of the child in your belly? President Qiao, we heard you and this man are 16 years apart. And that he is also your best friend's son. May I ask if this is true? President Qiao, may I ask whether you and your ex-husband Mr. Xiaofeng divorced because of this man?" Sharp questions came smashing over one after another. I was instantly stunned. I quickly protected Qiao Liman in my arms. I blocked those cameras and microphones. There was only one thought in my mind. How did the media find out about this? Who leaked this matter? I raised my head and looked behind the crowd. I saw a familiar figure, Xiaofeng. He stood there. The corner of his mouth carried a sinister smile as he looked at us. His eyes were full of the pleasure of revenge. I understood instantly. It was him. He had leaked this matter to the media. Qiao Liman was a famous female entrepreneur in Jiangqing. This kind of wealthy family scandal. An older woman younger man romance, and pregnancy with her best friend's son. Any one of those points could ignite public opinion. Zhao Feng wanted to destroy Qiao Liman. He wanted to destroy us. I looked at Zhao Feng's sinister face. My fists clenched until they cracked. My eyes were full of anger. In my arms, Qiao Liman's body trembled slightly. She tightly grabbed my clothes. Looking at the reporters and cameras pressing closer. Her face instantly turned deathly pale. I lowered my head and looked at Qiao Liman in my arms. Then I touched her rounded belly. I took a deep breath. I knew this battle had only just begun. But I was not afraid. No matter how many storms lay ahead. How much trouble. Or how much gossip and slander. I would protect her and protect our child. I would protect our home. Because I am Lin Chen. I am her man, and I am the father of her child.